Hello. So today we're going to first help you start familiarizing yourself with Unity and help you move your first cube. So first you open new project, you select 3D core and you can name this cube mover because you're moving your cube right now. So and there it is. Also just to I don't know, just a tip because Unity is a pretty heavy program if you feel like your computer is it's like slow and laggy, maybe you should try closing all the other tabs. So here's the hierarchy. This is where you create game objects, you make blah blah blah. Here is where you will make object moves, create and dictates what happens and why it happens and also what it looks like. So here, if we create a 3D cube called the cube, here in the project section, we can make a material. I'm just gonna call this red, and I'm just gonna make it red. And I'm gonna put it onto the cube in the hierarchy. And here you can see it's now red. So basically, this section right here is just dictating what the cube do, what it looks like, and other game objects. And objects like camera and direction, you notice here in the inspector, it's displaying all of the object's property. And yeah, now we're going to make the cube move. So I'm just going to call this cube mover. And this is really important. After the script compiled here, make the script, you're going to first drag this onto the cube. After you're done with that, if you click on the cube, let me drag it again, you'll see that the cube mover script appeared. And that means the cube mover is linked with the cube object. And also here in preferences, if you're downloading Visual Studio for the first time, you can click on external tools and you can click open by file extension and use Visual Studio. This way it will open Visual Studio and give you access to edit the code in Unity on Visual Studio. Now that that's done, we click on Cube Mover, click open, and Visual Studio should be activated. Give it some chance to load. We open it up. Here we go. Question, you're trying to make a cube move. What variable do you need? It's speed. You need to define what speed is. This is the class of your script. And in this section here, you can define and create variables. So I'm just gonna put float speed equals 15f because we're coding in C#. We always end with a semicolon, and if it's a float, we have an F at the end. A float just means decimal. So there's two starting function. So here's the start function, and you'll put your code in the start function if you want something to happen at the start of the game, and in the update function, it's where so we're gonna try and make the cube move forward, and we're just gonna use the keyboard WASD, you know. So if input, so what we type down, dot get key, parentheses, and then key code dot W because we want it to move forward, curly brackets, then we can put transform dot translate be sure to have the syntax right, because if you don't capitalize something or miss something, it will, make an error. Vector 3 for the X, Y, and Z axis because we're doing a 3D game. Dot forward because we're moving forward. And then time speed, the speed that we're going at, and time times time dot delta time, so the frame. So it will move per frame, And then if we want to move it backwards, we can just copy this, and change this to S because we're moving backwards. You can just make this negative. So when these three variables components times together, the outcome will be a negative, and so you move back negative times. So yeah, Control S or Command S to save. And when you do this, when you go back to Unity, it will recompile the code, the script, and so you can make the script do what so you can make sure the script is exactly how it is. And here, if I put W, click W, it will move forward. S, it will move backwards, right? And so now I'm going to try and make it rotate. So here we're going to put if input dot get key key code dot D for turning to the right, transform dot rotate. Sorry if I'm going a bit fast. If you need to slow down, you can just pause the video and copy the code. So we want it to rotate, right? So there are three directions where the object can rotate. So if it's X, I think it's this way, Z is this way, and Y is this way. So we want the cube to rotate and move, right? So it's going to be on the Y axis, but then we also need a variable for turn speed because we need more speed when we turn. So we're going to make this turn speed times time dot delta time. This way it will turn to the right, and we're going to make it turn to the left. So it's keycode.a, and we're going to make this negative. So it's going to be a negative. The outcome will be a negative variable. And so we can rotate in the opposite direction. Now let's try and see what it does. Remember to Control S to save. And you can see now it's turning different directions and moving all over. Now we're going to make this plain because, we want it to look pretty and it's not just the cube all alone. And we're going to make this 0.5, so it's right above the plane. And now we're going to adjust the camera because I want to see clearly what it does. So I'm just going to make it higher and right below the cube. And then, because we want it to rotate downwards to see the cube, so it's in the x-axis, so we're going to make this 90. So turn so that it's facing down. Here's the main camera to see what it looks like. Control S. Now I'm going to press, and you can see it's moving all over the place. If you want the camera to move as the cube is, moving, you can make this. This 10. Did 10. 1. Okay. And you can add the main camera into the cube. So now the cube main camera is moving when the cube is. So if I put like a cylinder on top of the plane and I'll do 5 this. Now the camera is moving where I want it to go. It's following the cube, which is you. So yeah, that is how you get started with Unity and will help you become a game developer. I hope to see more games created. And yeah, bye.